Hello again, everybody. Zach Attack is here with my TNA Impact Wrestling review for tonight, Thursday, August 16, 2012, aka the aftermath of Hardcore Justice. Now, I hate to do this comparison, but I have to at this point. This past Monday, WWE Raw, a 3-hour show, 8 matches. Well, 7 if you count the first match being a disqualification. Now, we had 7 or 8 matches on Raw on Monday. It's just a 3-hour show. We compare that with tonight. TNA. 2 hours. 4 matches? Only 4? What the fuck? I know it's after a pay-per-view and all. I know everyone's recovering from Hardcore Justice, but come on. WWE puts on more matches when it's got an extra hour. You can't even do that much in 2 hours. That's what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say about TNA having less message in 2 hours than WWE has in 3 hours and more. So, but that's what I'm saying. Tonight's Impact, not a lot of action tonight. Only 4 matches tonight. No okay matches. 8 and 8 got involved a little bit tonight. A little bit sad. It was not a lot of matches. Like I said, comparing to Raw, having a lot more matches in 3 hours than TNA does in 2. That's what I'm trying to say here. So there you go. TNA's momentum kind of slid off a little. I think it's 8 and 8. There's a lot of stupid things in TNA. 8 and 8 thing. And as Claire Lynch hopefully will end by next week. I'll get to that when we get to the AJ Daniels match in a moment. We kick off with, yes, a segment tonight. Then we kicked off with a match. TNA kicked off with a blah 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 from Austin Aries. Of course, Aries coming off his victory over Bobby Roode this past Sunday at the pay-per-view, despite everything that happened with a restart the match after screwed with the referee, with the whole, with both arms down and restarted, and Austin Aries won it this past Sunday. Bobby won't get a rematch. We would hear from Bobby Roode later on in the evening. So Austin Aries came out saying, "Oh, Roode thought I was a fluke. Well, I'm not a fluke anymore. I beat his ass again." Is there anybody whoever wins the BFG series, I'm waiting for him. That brought out Jeff Hardy, who is of course a man in the series. About saying, "I'm gonna tear it up with you, man. I hope I win so I can beat you up, man." So then, here comes Bully Ray, the opponent for Jeff Hardy this evening for the TNA Bound for Glory series. Of course, Bully Ray saying, Jeff Hardy came out also to say that he got screwed out of points. He lost the tables match in a clusterfuck of a match for whatever the results against Bully Ray. Bully Ray won it. For this whole James Storm thing, accusing James Storm again about being the Ace and Eights, being the mastermind, yada yada yada. We will find out a lot more this evening. It'll be settled once and for all tonight. This whole Ace and Eights and Jeff Hardy thing. Well, indeed. Here comes Ace and Eights guy on the screen. So about Bully Ray being lucky, made those points thanks to Ace and Eights. But Ace and Eights are in the house tonight. We're in the house tonight and ready to attack at any point, and we're waiting for the main event this evening. They would later try to attack Brooke Hogan. I'll get to that soon as well. Because Bully Ray pointed the finger at Storm. That finger would not be pointing at him for long, as we will find out in the main event this evening. But then we're on to our first match, which was the first match, the only match in the first hour that actually wasn't the first hour, because the second match didn't even start to the end of the first hour. But our first match was indeed a Bound for Glory series match, one of 3 matches for Bound for Glory series tonight, which was the main focus of the show tonight, which was Magnus against Samoa Joe, kind of a quick 2-minute match, but of course Samoa Joe got the points. He demolished Mr. Magnus by a pinfall at, not pinfall, but submission. Of course, Joe's been a submission guy, because he wants to get those 10 points. I will go through the final tally of the Bound for Glory series points at the end of the main event. I always forget to sometimes, but I remember to say the points after the main event tonight. So there you go. Joe wins, gets us up 10 points for submission. Beating up Magnus, so there you go. And, it was a submission. I was right the first time it was a pinfall. I thought it was a submission, but it was indeed a pinfall. But it was an okay match to kick it off. It's kind of the decent match, but of course Joe got the victory. Pinfall victory. Now we're on to our next segment. We had a lot more segments than matches tonight. Anyway, we're on to our next segment, which involved the new TNA Knockouts champion, Madison Rayne, who of course won thanks to a little more scrutiny with, of course, her boy toy, Crush, Earl Hebner, once again helping Madison win by cheating. Well, the Knockouts executive, Brooke Hogan, didn't like that. So not only did she fire Earl Hebner from refereeing Knockouts matches to favor Brooke, or to favor Madison like he's been doing, she did book Brooke Tessmacher in a rematch tonight with a special guest referee to be named. But when Brooke Hogan was in the ring, Ace and the Nates came out ready to attack. Of course, a few weeks ago, we saw that Brooke Hogan did receive the dead man's hand. That she was a new target for the team of Ace and the Nates. Before Ace and the Nates could get their hands on him, here comes the TNA locker room, here comes Austin Aries, Billy Ray, Jeff Hardy, and Sting coming together to save Brooke, and Ace and the Nates ran like pussies that they are. And after that, Sting challenged Ace and the Nates to a fight to kick off Impact next week, as it is another open fight night. Hopefully, the Ace and the Nates won't ruin this one. They ruined the last open fight night. Hopefully, they won't do it again. So, there you go. Another open fight night coming up. Ace and the Nates against TNA locker room. It's going to kick it off, apparently. Ace and the Nates accepted that challenge. They're ready to go for that challenge. And Hulk Hogan's scheduled to be back as well. He's been out for a few weeks from his surgery, not related to the Ace and the Nates, but they're making it storyline-wise. So, Hulk Hogan will be in the house. So it'll be TNA locker room against the Aces and Eights. Big brawl to kick off Impact. Open fight night next week. Now, finally, on with our second match. Finally, took like 40 minutes to get to our second match. Where was the need? Another BFG series match. AJ Styles and Daniels. Not only did it have big implications towards the series, with the final four people ready to advance to the finals and no surrender. Anybody below the red line won't make it. Anyone below the top four will no longer be in the running. And that means every point really does matter at this point. Not only was that implicated, there was also the implication of this whole Claire Lynch shit that's been going on for weeks. AJ said they put a little bet on it. If AJ would win this match, he would have to take a paternity test to prove once and for all he is not the father of Claire's child. But if Daniels wins, AJ would have to finally admit that he's the father. So there we go. AJ Daniels, they had a ladder match on Sunday with other people, but now tonight it's just one-on-one AJ and Daniels. Well, not exactly one-on-one because Kaz got involved. Forgot to turn around. Anyway, it was a decent match. These two put on a decent match almost every time they wrestle. I bet you every TNA fan, including myself, can agree that AJ and Daniels cannot have a bad match. There's never a bad match between these guys. May not be one of the best matches, but still. Anytime you get these two in the ring, they have great chemistry together. They have great chemistry. Decent matchup. Kind of screwed a little bit with the ending. Kaz was underneath the ring, trying to help Daniels. AJ was trying to suplex him. Grant Daniels was trying to suplex AJ, should I say. And AJ got pinned by Daniels, but Kaz held on to AJ's foot to prevent a kick out. So apparently Daniels won. When referee saw Kaz got caught. So referee restarted the match. AJ nailed the Pele. 1, 2, 3. AJ Styles got 7 points. And will have to take a paternity test. I would not be surprised if we see Maury Povich on the show next week. He is the king of the paternity test. I would not be surprised if Maury Povich goes on the show and says, AJ Styles, you are not the father. This whole stupid baby shit. They'll be like the ultimate combination. They make this whole baby thing end with the king of the paternity test. Maury Povich. It would make sense to end it that way. And hopefully after next week, this whole shit with this Claire Lynch, AJ shit can finally come to a motherfucking end that it should have been 2 months ago. So there you go. Hopefully after next week, this baby shit finally comes to an end. So there you go. AJ wins, gets a paternity test, and hopefully ends this once and for all. Hopefully next week. Now, our next segment, which involved Bobby Roode, of course, in a humble but angry mood after losing to Austin Aries this past Sunday. Of course, Austin Aries won the match. Roode blamed everybody but himself, basically, for his loss. He was sounding like he was going to blame himself, but he was, of course, taking the whole heel way out and blaming it on everybody else. Referee, Sting, blah, blah, blah. Not blaming himself for the loss. But he is indeed a loser and would not get a rematch. He blamed referees for the screw pinfall, yada, yada, yada. But indeed, Roode talked a little bit, blah, 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 and then walked out of the ring, dropped his mic. Question is, what is next for Roode? Since the championship is important to him, but he wants an opportunity again, but of course he can't get it because he signed on the dotted line that indeed he had to add that stipulation because he wasn't fine with the contract last week during that contract signing. He wouldn't sign the contract until that stipulation that no rematch for the loser was made. He dug his own grave. Now he has to lie in it. So, we'll see what happens with Roode in the future. Maybe we'll interfere or something that cause Austin to get a rematch with him. Who knows what will happen with Roode from now on with him not getting a shot as long as Aries is champion. Or maybe he'll screw Aries at the next pay-per-view. So he can get a shot against whoever's the champion since Austin won't be champion. So we'll see what Roode does after this situation. Now on to the next match, which was indeed a Knockouts title rematch from Hardcore Justice. Brooke Tessmacher getting a rematch against Madison Rayne, as I mentioned during the segment. Brooke Hogan would name a special guest referee. Where was this? It was a chick. Erin Terrell, a.k.a. Tiffany, from ECW. I didn't know that one, so I don't watch ECW that much. She didn't look familiar because she had curly hair, but there you go. Tiffany from ECW made her debut tonight. I read that, saw in the TNA chat room that there was some faces backstage that Jeremy Boris was kind of alluding to, and Tiffany was one of them. So Tiffany was special guest referee, Terrence Terrell, whatever you want to call her, with Brooke Tessmacher, Madison Rayne. Madison Rayne tried to cheat any way she could. Tights, ropes, but Terrell, being a biased, good-faced referee, blocked Madison's attempt to cheat her in. And of course, in the end, Brooke Tessmacher got the victory, and Tessmacher got the win, and got the title back. Now, Madison only had the title for 4 days. So Tessmacher's the champ again. See what happens in a new reign as champ. See what happens there. With a little help from Taryn Terrell. And of course, Brooke Hogan by naming Taryn, a.k.a. Tiffany. Brooke Tessmacher retains the title. It was an okay Knockouts match. Like I said, any Knockouts match is better than any Divas match any fucking day of the week. I've said it a million times on this. So there you go. Tessmacher wins, defeats Madison Rayne. Let's move on, new champ. Now, on with our main event of the evening, the final Bound for Glory Series match of the evening. Bully Ray against Jeff Hardy. James Storm would be at referee. Would be at ringside. By the way, before I move on to the main event, when I didn't say this, when Brooke Hogan introduced Taryn, Brooke tripped a little bit. That was kind of funny, but seriously, Brooke fell on her face. I hope she didn't get hurt, but it was still kind of funny. Slip. Too bad it wasn't a neck slip. Anyway, like I said, on the main event, which was, of course, Billy Ray, Jeff Hardy, James Storm at ringside, Ace and the Eights to get involved, and they would. There was an okay match. It was decent. Billy Ray took control of most of the match, but Jeff Hardy came back, fighting back. And here comes Ace and the Eights midway towards the match, and a back and forth match. Hardy trying to nail the Swanton, but missed. But Ace and the Eights came out, distracted Bully Ray. And with that distraction, Jeff Hardy got the win. And 7 more points for his score at the Bound for Glory Series. After the match, Bully Ray beat the crap out of Jeff Hardy. But then James Storm came to the ring. Of course, Bully Ray once again pointing the finger at James Storm for this whole Ace and the Eights team. But we would find out soon enough, James Storm would not be the guy. But it seemed like it after James Storm super kicked Jeff Hardy. Inadvertently, actually, because he was trying to super kick Bully, but Bully ducked it, and Jeff Hardy got the kick. After that, here comes 8'S and 8'S, applauding, trying to allude to us that yes, the mastermind is James Storm, but then as they were done clapping, they attacked James Storm. So that means everyone's wrong. James Storm's not involved in 8'S and 8'S. He's been right all along. The accusations from Wood, specifically Wood started, were wrong. James Storm is not involved in 8'S and 8'S. He didn't need him. It kind of like, the evidence was kind of stacked up against him with all the situations with James Storm not getting attacked, yada yada yada. But indeed, James Storm did get attacked by 8'S and 8'S tonight, furthering that James Storm is not involved. So that's how we end Impact. 8'S and 8'S attacking James Storm. Of course, 8'S and 8'S will be taken on the TNA locker room in a brawl to kick off Impact next week. Open fight night. We got Gut Check, and hopefully they'll have more than 4 matches in a 2-hour show. So there you go. It's a decent Impact tonight. A little bit of action, but okay. I know it's after pay-per-view, so they get an excuse for that. So there you go. Before I go, TNA bound for glory standings as of tonight. Speaking of James Storm, he is still the leader with 66 points. Samoa Joe with his win tonight gets 61 points in second place. 3 is Bully with 48. Tied with Good Angle for third. I mean, those two will be the final 4 if they remain that by the end of this series in 3 weeks. Below the red line, as it would say, below the top 4, 5 is AJ Styles with 43. 6 is Anderson with 40. 7 is Jeff Hardy with 35. Tied with Rob Van Dam for 35. Then 9 is Christopher Daniels with 33. 10 is Magnus with 21. 11 is Polk with 7. And last place is Dominic Soul. Yay, you won't fucking win. Robbie E. Doesn't deserve it. Alright, that is it for my TNA Impact review for tonight. See you all later. And bye. You've been attacked by the review bomb, Zach. See you later. Have a good night. Yeah.